recently moved into a new home with a new kitchen, and if you are not new here, you know about 2 years ago, I renovated my prior house's kitchen to essentially be my dream kitchen. We had no plans of leaving in that house ever. I essentially renovated that kitchen planning that it was gonna be my kitchen for at least the next decade, but then life happens. You know, I've got another baby on the way. We're about to have 4 kids aged 5 and under, and I am very much a believer in following the cues that life gives you, and life was very much pointing us towards moving to a new house. One of the things that I was oddly the most excited about in our new home was the kitchen that actually isn't that well thought out of in terms of organization. Prior to buying our last house, I had lived in 7 different rental houses, all with different unique organizational challenges in the kitchen, and it's really what sparked me to create this channel, was finding smart and effective solutions to organizing and keeping tidy and staying productive and maybe not the most perfectly aesthetic or designed space. And so as I have been unpacking and getting organized in this new space and implementing some of my favorite organizational tricks and strategies, I decided to bring you guys along and share with you some of my favorite kitchen organization strategies to use in spaces that are maybe a little bit trickier. All right, let's get started with under the kitchen sink to start. When we moved in, I literally just threw all of our stuff here with no organization, and it's really been bothering me, so we're gonna tackle this. I bought this under the sink organizer, which is specifically designed to go around a pipe, which I thought was really smart. So you can adjust not just the height, but you can also make it longer or shorter to make it fit around your pipe situation, which I thought was really smart. Another thing I love to do is I always decant my dishwasher pods. I love these little stackable pull-out plastic drawers for underneath sinks, whether it's a bathroom sink or a kitchen sink, because they are just a really effective use of space because you can stack them. It makes drawers where there are any. So I'm doing my dishwasher pods, and then I'm doing just like my bar towels that I use for cleaning. Another bin that I love using under the sink are these divided clear bins. So I will put just like little odds and ends, cleaning odds and ends in one end, and then on the front end, my favorite hack here is because of the hole, you can pop your trash bags into here, and then you just feed one trash bag through the little hole, and now you sort of have like a self-dispensing trash bag thing, if you will. It just allows you to grab your trash bags as you need them. And then I'm just filling in the rest of the space with all of our cleaning supplies. Definitely under the sink, the key is really to keep your cleaning supplies as minimal as possible. It's really hard with cleaning supplies because there are so many different kinds of cleaning stuff, but I really try to just stick to like my favorite ones that I'm constantly using all of the time. Moving right along, one of my favorite things for organizing in the kitchen are these adjustable racks. I had one of these in my last kitchen, and I bought literally I think 4 of them for the new kitchen because I love them so much. You can make this wider or shorter depending on the width of your cabinet, and then you can decide how big you want your spaces depending on what you're putting in. So I usually will like put in an item I want, sort of see if it's the right size, and then I add in the next little vertical shelf. So I'm using this for all of my bakeware. In the past, I've always just struggled with stacking these vertically, and that is just always a pain in the butt because you're always pulling one thing out to try to get to another thing. It's never really the most effective use of space. Storing them horizontally like this just makes it way easier to get what you need and to put it back when you are done. Moving on to this cabinet above our microwave. This is one of those sort of tricky cabinets because it's a pretty good space, but because the microwave is above it, there's actually this section of it where there's an outlet where the microwave is plugged in, so it makes it a little bit tricky. What I ended up buying was these corner shelf risers, and then I actually flipped these on their side, so then I could then file store my other bakeware, so pie pans and cake pans and stuff, and this was such a great way to make use of this sort of awkward above the microwave space. Would work great for above refrigerators as well. Now I do have this little bit of dead space. Like I said, there's a weird outlet there, but I think I'm actually going to add a small shelf riser here so I can make a little more use of this vertical space. Speaking of shelf risers, I love them for cabinets where you have way too much space between the shelves. Obviously, I could go out and get more shelves cut, but that's going to be expensive. If you're renting, that might not be an option. And so adjustable shelf risers are such an easy solution. You basically can buy these adjustable ones and you pull it to the proper width, and then there's usually just like some type of screw to tighten to make it like match the width that you want. They're usually adjustable vertical height as well, so you can really get like whatever configuration you want. And basically this allowed me to add 2 more whole extra shelves into this cabinet where I'm keeping all of my dinnerware and just store so much more stuff here more effectively than I would have been able to. And I didn't have to go and get like custom cut cabinet shelves. I can't talk about kitchen organization without talking about my wrap jocks and my organizer that I use for all of my like sandwich baggies. This is organization that I brought over from the past house because I loved it so much. I love my wrap jocks for my plastic wrap, my foil wrap. It just stores the stuff really easily, makes it really easy to tear off the ones you want. And then I love this acrylic organizer for all my sandwich baggies. It just keeps everything so tidy, so organized in my food storage drawer. And speaking of food storage, another organization hack that I've brought over from the last kitchen is I store all of my food storage containers with the tops on them. I'm telling you guys, don't knock it till you try it. This is the way to store your food storage containers. I'll be honest, when I first heard of this hack, I didn't believe it was going to work either. I thought it was just going to take up more space, but it is so much more effective. Here's a text I actually got from a friend the other day who finally took my advice and realized that this is really the proper way to store your food storage. The only ones I'm not storing with tops on are these like one-time use plastic ones that sometimes they use for freezing like soups and stews. But this is actually a clip of how I used to do it in the old house because I had longer, thinner cabinets, and so I actually would fold them with the tops on them into these divided bins and then slide them into the cabinets as well, which worked really great as well. But store your food storage container with the tops on it, trust me. Really quick, if you are enjoying this video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up. That just helps other people who might enjoy this video also find it. And if it's your first time landing on one of my videos, I would love it if you hit the subscribe button. I post new videos 1 to 2 times every single week, all about ways to make your life easier and more practical. Another organizational structure I'm bringing from the past house that I'm definitely going to be using in my new house is decanting my pantry staples. I'm not decanting everything that goes into my pantry, but all of my staples. It is always just worth the little bit of extra time it takes to decant it, because look here, I have everything that was in all of these bags now decanted into this nice little container. It's so much easier to store it, to stack it, easier to see how much of it you have left. When I'm good about decanting my pantry stuff, my pantry stays more organized, it stays more properly stocked because I can always see what I have. It is really just one of those things where it takes like a little bit of effort at the beginning and you get the benefit in the long run. Obviously, I'm labeling the stuff in my pantry, but another thing, actually like labeling not just food items in my kitchen. This sometimes feels a little bit redundant to label stuff in your own home, like where your air fryer goes or where your blender goes, but let me tell you, it is just a shortcut to your brain. Even though you always put the blender back in the same place, it just makes this little shortcut to put your stuff back where it goes so much faster, and it makes it a lot easier for other people who might be in your home, whether you have house guests or just somebody else is putting dishes away. But I have found that it makes a huge difference to keeping my kitchen and space more organized, and it is something that I'm definitely going to be implementing into the new kitchen as I get organized. Another kitchen organization item I love is this knife organizer. It actually goes inside of a drawer, so instead of having to have a knife block out on your counter, taking up counter space, if you have very precious counter space, it can just be a hassle to have something else extra out on your counter. It's something else to clean around, and when I switched over to using an in the drawer knife organizer, I just found this to be so much better. I loved keeping my knives off of the counters and keeping my counter space open. Another thing I'm bringing back from my old kitchen into my new kitchen is overstock areas, overstock sauces and spices. This is for when you buy extra of something. Like say you bought a couple of sauces, you don't need them all out in your active, like this is the ketchup I'm using right now spot. So I like to have specific designated areas for those overstock items. So when I run out of something, I know exactly where to go for them. Another don't knock it till you try it thing is a Lazy Susan in a kitchen. I was really against these for a while. I thought that it was not the best use of space. A round item in a square thing just seemed like I wasn't using the best use of my space. But the truth is, Lazy Susan for things like your olive oils, your sauces, your condiments, it really is the best way to store them because it's just easy to access everything you need. So these are the Lazy Susans in my old kitchen, and now you can see I brought them into the new kitchen. I also have brought back my shelf, little like shelf step thing. The internet hates this. They either love it or they hate it when I share this. Some people think that it is a silly way to organize spaces. They're like, how do you get to what you need? But listen, I used it for about 3 years in the last kitchen. I loved it, and I brought it back to the new kitchen. Another item from the old kitchen that is coming into new kitchen is my drawer dividers. I really love drawer dividers because I just feel like it helps to create compartments and sections inside of drawers and cupboards, which you wouldn't think makes that big of a difference, but it really does help to sort of have sections to some of these larger cupboards and drawers. It just makes it easier for things to get back to where they go and to go with the items that they are supposed to go with. And last but not least, I love these like cup organizers. They essentially are just stackable cup organizers, and I think they're a really great way to store all of your travel bottles and your travel cups. I also have this little lid organizer that I use to store all of our travel cup lids. As always, guys, thank you so much for stopping by and watching. I hope you are having a fantastic day. Remember to be kind to yourself and others, and I will see you all in my next video.